Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Q&A session for the day. Um, I just heard an echo. Oh, I guess it's gone. I guess it's gone. We're good. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, welcome everybody. Another Q&A, like I already mentioned, today with Diego Lucia. He is a highly skilled and experienced drawing teacher specializing in training artists and animators for the entertainment industry. With years of experience in the field, Diego has worked with some of the biggest names in animation, film, and gaming, helping to hone the skills of their artists and designers. His teaching style is focused on practical, hands on learning with a strong emphasis on developing fundamental skills such as drawing, design, and composition. So, yeah, Diego, welcome. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
There you go. Let's start all over
There
again.
we
How
go.
are you? Hey, thank you for being here.
How are you doing, Diego? You're good?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited about this. I'm now getting ready with all the screens. I don't know where to look at now because I have you here. I have another thing there. There's the camera, and so bear with me until I get ready with all this. Uh,
That's totally
I've been
okay.
fixing all my technology to be able to do this. Right. So, okay, here we are ready for a Q&A and then a demo
Yeah.
or all the way around. So, let's start. Just don't
So
waste no
yeah,
time. So
yeah.
let me open
And
the chat
before,
so I can see to what people are saying there.
sure, sure. Everybody's saying hi right now, and then your energy is unparalleled.
Okay. Hey. Oh, I
Before we
see.
go
I see
into,
names. I see names I know. That's cool.
yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot of students from the group coaching session.
yeah, cool.
Before we begin, I just want to mention, as always, we have the guest book ready for everybody to share their opinions. So you're more than welcome to do that. As you know, there's going to be a raffle from this for the 10-year merch, the swag, all the swag. So yeah, um, Diego, you want to add anything to the introduction I did? You want to?
Yes, really. No, I'm from Argentina. Just saying that. I don't know if that was mentioned.
I did not mention that. No, I'm so
So,
sorry.
champion for some reason I don't know. We won the championship, the world football championship last year. So I'm kind of a champion in a way, a little bit taking credit for other people, but that's fine. So not really. That's good. Good enough presentation. I think it's overrated, but it's cool. So I like to train people to get into the entertainment industry. And what it's difficult about there is that I need to get their voices out, right? It's not just about being able to copy what they see. And basically, when we start learning how to draw, the thing is that we tend to copy what we see because it's the easiest way to understand drawing, right? We see something, we look at it, and we make it exactly the same in the paper. And the moment it doesn't look perfect, we feel like frustrated and we let it go. And that is how many people abandon this thing of drawing very early in their life, not in their career, just they don't even get a career, they just stop drawing. And every you see, like when we were young, everybody's drawing, right? Almost everybody. Until you get to a certain age, the drawing becomes something of child, right? No, it's no longer an adult thing. So then we let it go, and then we want to pick it up again, and we find a lot of difficult things to do because our brain works differently as we were drawing when we were kids. So that's what I do. I grab your brain and I squeeze it as hard as I can to get all that juice out. And it doesn't hurt like it sounds. But it's fun. It's so much fun because I kind of compare drawing with a game. So if you ever went around my Instagram, you probably saw the video where I just explained kind of the comparison between a game and learning how to draw. It's like you need to start from the very beginning, simple things like a tutorial for a game. And once you understand how the game works, then you can have fun. So you won't be having any fun in any game if you don't know how to play, right? What are the rules, or if there are any rules in the game? Because the fun thing about drawing is that there are no rules. I'm quoting somebody here. You know who I'm quoting. Anyway, I will say it. It's Glenn Bilbo, right? There's no rules, just tools. So once you understand how you use every tool, the game becomes really fun. And it's like solving puzzles. I love solving puzzles, so that is why I like drawing. And I like to show you how to do it. I like to show you how to have fun drawing because I don't like people get frustrated because, oh, I don't know how to draw. I wasn't born to do this. And in fact, it's not that you weren't born to do that, it's that you don't have the tools. And the tools are key. So that was the answer to no question, but something to start with. Okay.
That answered quite some questions already. uh, I would like to let everybody know on Demio and on Discord that we will be taking live questions. So feel free to ask Diego anything you'd like. Like, use those 2 hours that we have to your advantage right now. Because Diego is really a great teacher. He explains everything super like simple. You get the concept. At least that is like it's like that for me. It's yeah, you really when you explain stuff, it's like really down to the point. And yeah,
I
I
like
can
to,
just say
I like
like
to
I
go
love it.
simplify things, right? I like to simplify things in a way like everybody can understand it because that was one thing for me. I learned from many teachers, and the list is so long. Many are here, right? Many are here, and it's an honor to me to be here celebrating 10th anniversary of New Masters Academy. I learned from Glenn Bilpo, Steve Houston, Carl Gonaz. Almost all of the teachers here were kind of my teachers. So it's an honor to me to be on this side right now. And what I like to do is sometimes things get overcomplicated. And I like to distill it to the very minimum idea. Because once you get the simple idea, the very basic thing, it's easier to pile on stuff there. But if I just throw you something very difficult, it's so hard to understand that you may leave it and you will skip it. And things like perspective, for example, right? If I start just giving you numbers and rulers and lines and everything like that, you're gonna get scared right away. You say, no, this is not for me. I'm not a mathematician, so I'm gonna be living here. And I don't want that. I just want you to stay here for a long time as possible until you understand what you're trying to do. Because if you're here or in any class, your goal is to learn. And if something that I say make you go away or make you feel frustrated, that's not working. Our job as a teacher is to make your journey easy, fun, and short. The short thing is up to you, not to me. But the goal is that, right? It's the amount of time you put there. One common question is how many hours a day you need to be drawing or you need to be practicing and there's no right time. If you can stay the 24 hours just focusing on what you're doing, you get better way faster. But of course, your brain is going to burn out. So you don't want to stay 24 hours. But you don't want to have just small intervals of 5 minutes because you don't get to focus totally. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay,
And I
cool.
believe and it's great for like, beginner artists to like get those like complex things explained in a simple way. So yeah, I agree with that. Um, okay, let's go a bit back into the past first, and then we'll take the live questions. We already are getting some. Would you like to share with us what got you into the art in the first place?
Yes, absolutely. The first time something sparked in me was when I saw a caricaturist on a theme park. Actually, it was a kind of a gallery of artists. Uh, and I saw this guy doing this 3, 4, 5 minutes caricatures of people sitting right there. And wow, uh, what is he doing? Right? How is he doing that? How is that even possible? Where is he copying that from? Because the face of the person that was sitting there, it was not the same as the drawing, but it was the same person, right? And it was fun. It was exaggerated. Uh, I want to do that. How do I do that? And that was the first question that popped into my head. So then I think I was 12 there or something. I'm talking about where the moment my brain thought about drawing in a way that I want to do that, because I've been drawing forever, like everybody. But the moment I saw that, I said, wow, that's fun. I wish I could do that. So let's find out how. And now I'm here, right? So I think I look enough to understand what was happening there. And that's what I do. I try to give people that got that feeling of, hey, how do I do that? Okay, let me show you. That's exactly what I feel when I'm teaching. It's like I'm grabbing that 12-year-old who's asking, how do I do this? And I'm giving you the tools to do it. Of course, it takes time and practice, but you need the tools. And the tools are the fundamentals. And you heard this like 1,000 times or more. You need the fundamentals. You absolutely need the fundamentals. There's no way you can draw what I mean by drawing, right? Because that's another thing. Definitions. Gesture drawing. What's the definition of gesture drawing? What's the definition of drawing? What's the definition of X, right? I think Colgan has given an example, a nice example on his figure drawing course. It says it's like when you ask about love, what love means to you. You talk about gesture, what gesture means to you. So when you listen to somebody saying something that has so broad meaning and definition, it's like in every teacher will tell you a different thing about gesture. So the moment you see that, just listen to what that specific teacher that is about to tell you something thinks about that word. So fundamentals for me is the key to be able to draw. If you don't understand perspective, you're done. You're done. To me, drawing is like magic, right? When you see someone drawing, it feels like magic. If you ever saw Kim Jong-gi drawing, it's magic. What is he doing, right? How is that happening on the paper? What is happening on his brain? The thing is that there are many, many things going up there, and like magic, we have tools to create illusions. So when we're drawing, we are creating an illusion. We are describing three-dimensional objects on a two-dimensional surface, making them feel like they are three-dimensional, which they are not. They are flat, but they feel three-dimensional. So there's an illusion we are creating. And the big tool, the grand illusion, is perspective, because perspective works. So you don't need to be a super wizard perspective that can build a castle and a bridge crossing over to another country. But you need to understand the fundamental concepts and the ideas that perspective gives us to create that illusion. So, making a long story short, the thing is, I'm bringing that 12-year-old boy back, and I would love to talk to him and tell him, learn the fundamentals. If you do that when you're 12, when you're 20, you're a beast, right? But we tend to skip it. We go first to paint digitally, right? We go first to designing characters. Absolutely, we no idea what we're doing, and everything feels so daunting because we don't have tools. We don't have any tools. So that is super crazy for our brains. How this guy came up, I always say the same when I'm teaching shape design, that I saw this character designing come up with these characters and these shapes. And how is that even possible? There should be a way. I don't feel they're like superhumans, right? They're regular people like me or you. So there's something about that that can be learned. And I want to show you that. And that's what I do. There's no better moment in teaching than when you see a student go, aha, and that's the moment when it clicks, right? So that is why I distill things into super simple stuff to make those aha moment more frequently because I love them. And that's my ego here. I like having fun when I'm teaching. And so that is why I make those aha moments every single class. Like I try to hit it as much as I can for you because the whole goal here to me is that you learn how to draw. I don't want to see you ever again, right? If I can give you one class, 1 hour, and there you are ready, to me that's beautiful, right? I don't like you. I don't like you see you all day, every day. Maybe I do. Okay, I don't mean like I'm a bad person. I don't want to see you ever again. But in a teaching way, the shorter amount you and the amount of money you spend in learning, right? I want it to be the less because people that wants to draw, there are thousands and thousands and thousands, millions, right? So I don't need to have one student like every day for the rest of my life to be able to lead, right? I want that student that come 1 hour, and then it goes away and it said, oh, what Diego taught me, it was amazing. It was beautiful, right? So another person that wants to learn will come here. That's my mission, right? That's my mission is for you to be able to draw. That's all there is to it. And that's how I start drawing. And then that's how I start teaching. So I answered two questions in one, like taking like half of the Q&A with that answer.
Yeah, we answered Movita's question with this one also. Yeah. That was a very good answer. Um, okay. Before we continue, I would like to say that Diego's teaching, you can check it out with group coaching. He is our group coach every Wednesday at 10 a.m. PT time, so Pacific time. He also does discussions with us. He has like a series called Control Plus One, where we actually at the moment are learning how to control our line work, our pencil work.
What a coincidence.
And the exercises are, they seem easy, but they're not. I think a lot of people can relate to with me saying this right now. Okay, Diego. Let's take some live questions. We have quite a few now. We have one from Gordon. Diego, what is the best way to practice capturing facial expressions?
Okay, I'll give back to you in a second. Just give me one second. I'll be right back.
Oh, we'll just wait for a second, guys.
Done. Magic. I'm back. I have to read the answer. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, how to capture the likeness? That was the question or the expression. Well,
Yes,
anyway,
facial expression.
yeah, the expression and the likeness comes from two things, right? And I don't want to say two, or let's say 1,000, but let's start with two. Expressions is in our eyes and our mouth. and probably nothing else, right? If just portrait, no hands, no anything, just our face, eyes and mouth are kind of 99% of the expression. So the moment you get the eyes and the mouth correctly, you have the expression. It's just that, okay? One more second. Just give me one more second. I need to read one more thing. Kidding, but I need to do it. Got it? Yeah, let me tell you the truth. What's happening is my wife gotta get out and gotta get in, right? So I don't want you to see my wife running behind me. That's what's the whole reason. So coming back to the answer, the eyes and the mouth, right? It's not only the eye color, it's not only the eye shape, it's not only the eye tilt, right? It's not only the mouth shape, it's not only the teeth, it's not only how the end of the mouth goes up, down, one up, one down, right? The eyes goes like this, the eyebrows, right? When I say the eyes, I'm talking also about the eyebrows. Eyebrows really help emphasize what's happening. And actually, eyebrows is like a signature because you can have your eyes wide open, but if you have this raised up like this, I have wide open my eyes, but it's not like this, means something. But if I have my eyes really close and thin, and I have again this like this, it means another thing. So you need to think about the eyebrows, and you need to think about the eyes, and you need to think about them separately because they are two different things and they move separately. We have muscles here, and we have another muscles around the eyes, so they can move separately. And in fact, there are people that can move them or on purpose, right? They can like lift one. I cannot do it, but they can lift one and have the other one down. Animators are really good on that thing. They tend to have mirrors here just to look at them and start doing gestures, so they see how it feels and how it looks when you feel away, because most of the expression is make you feel like if you're looking at a person and that person is sad or that person is happy or that person is angry or whatever feeling you have, right? That's what you're trying to convey in the drawing. It's not about a portrait, it's about a feeling. Because if you have no feeling, have you seen those Uncanny Valley movies? Those everybody knows what Uncanny Valley means. It's like in the middle of animation and cartoon and reality or film, right? And you put them kind of in the middle, and it kind of doesn't work, right? It feels lifeless. So if you're drawing someone in it likeness is correct, but the expression is lifeless, then the portrait is lifeless. So expression in a portrait is really important. It's not just about the likeness. It's about what's happening. And that's what a great caricaturist is able to do, right? To grab that expression, even if the likeness is not there, if the expression is there, that's a perfect likeness, without saying the word perfect, right? That's a good stuff. That answer your question, Gordon? By the way, Gordon is a great portrait artist.
He really is. Um, okay, we have a question from Nathan. Diego, how to get better gesture on digital drawings? For traditional media, it helps to have a bigger paper, but with digital media, we are limited to the size of the tablet.
Okay, I can do a whole workshop about this, but I love the question. I love the question, Nathan. So here's the thing. People tend to think that drawing a gesture, it requires size and speed. Well, it helps, right? If you need to draw large and do this, and you make all sweepy lines, and you will have some movement there. but you can make a gesture drawing this size. And the thing is, it's not about the movement of your hand. It's about the connection between lines. So if you can connect lines and your control, no pun intended, and your control is good, then you can create that same movement in a small space. So same thing about digital and traditional. They're just tools, right? They're just tools. There's no difference in the concepts of design and drawing from digital to traditional. There's no difference. Every concept work the same. It's just the thing that we are thinking and we are putting on the paper that means the change. Because if you think about it, right? If you don't have a digital tablet, then you won't be able to do certain things. Well, that's not entirely true. If you have a paper and a pencil, and you may need paint if you want to have color. So color in digital is cheaper. You don't have to buy just jars of paint. My new paint. No, you have it all there. You don't have to buy an airbrush, right? You have it there. You don't have to buy a 2B pencil. You have it there. Like you have everything in there. Well, it's a tool with a lot of versatility. Traditionally, you require more tools, but the concepts you will apply are the same. A square is a square, traditional and in digital. So coming back to your gesture question, it's not a problem about big or small. Maybe you have a small tablet, right? Because you have a small, medium, large, then you have those big Cintiqs of 400 inches wide. But if you have a small tablet, you need to think about the design of your lines, of your curves, of your arcs, and how they connect one to the other. That's what creates the movement. It's the gesture in that arc that creates the illusion. Again, it's an illusion. As we were talking before, it's the illusion of a 3D object that it's on a flat surface, but it feels 3D. Same thing with the movement and the gesture and the animation. It's not moving. It's still on the paper. It's not moving. I need you to feel that it's moving. And you have the job of making my eye go through that figure in a continuous way. So the moment you reach all the movement in the all the body, right? You feel like it's moving. Well, it's not moving, right? It's not moving. So it's about design. So gesture is about design. Of course, you're drawing. So it's about design, but it requires the drawing skill. And in order to have the drawing skill, you require fundamentals. So if you can't draw, of course, gesture drawing, it's a complete frustration. More if it's time gesture drawing. A 1 minute gesture drawing for a beginner, it's like a moment of death, right? You just say, I don't know what to do. Well, I don't know what to do, right? Because you need to apply many, many things in a short period of time. And if you lose that amount of time just scribbling around your head, what concept, blah, 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 boom, it explodes. And you feel like you're not ready. And if you feel like you weren't born to do this, well, just chill. It's not that. Is you require a little more fundamentals and understanding about design. Then you can play with those time gesture drawing because you know what to do. You've been doing that with time and peacefully understanding every concept and how to apply it. Now we add speed. Then you have fun. It's like I always like to compare stuff, right? So everybody can understand. It's not like you're stupid, right? It's like I want to give you another example of another thing because I'm talking about drawing and gesture, but sometimes we can understand driving, for example, right? If you drive a car, you know how to drive a car. You have the main idea of how to do it. So imagine I want to teach somebody to draw a car, to drive a car, not to draw a car, to drive a car. And instead of giving a car and just teaching how to park, I give him an F1 car and I ask him, okay, you have to do it in 1 minute, the whole lot. You know what's going to happen? Well, same thing to me is the approach of giving you a 1 minute to draw a figure. A figure, it's really hard. It's really hard. People can draw sometimes cubes in space and rotate them. And I'm giving you a figure in 1 minute. Of course, your brain is going to blow. Nathan, I'm not talking specifically to you right now. I'm talking to everybody. So, but what I want to say is like gesture is not related to size and it's not related to the tool. Gesture is a type of game or a type of art that it requires drawing and it requires design. I hope that kind of give it away, right? That answer your question?
Okay, Nathan, let us know if you have any follow-up questions. In the meantime, do you believe people should be learning traditional, or could they just learn the same things digitally? So traditional versus digital.
Okay. Nathan, you're welcome. Okay, so that's another great question. Traditional versus digital. I'm going to just name two keys on the keyboard that are going to slow down your learning process, but it's going to speed up your learning process. What that means is that it has pros and cons, like everything in life. So, what are those two keys? Command or Control, if you're in Windows, Z. I've seen many artists recently when you see like a demo or a speed labs of whatever they're drawing, like come and see, come and see, come and see, come and see, blank, come and see, blank, come and see, line, 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 come and see, until they get the line. That's good because it allows you to for the exploration, right? Is this line good? Is this better? Is this a little better? Is this a little better? I like this one, so I leave that one. Traditionally, you can have this, right? But it is not the same amount of time, and it's not the same result. When you put your pencil to the paper, you get a line. If you erase it, it kind of goes away, but not that much. If you do that 300 times, you'll see what happened. Digitally, that won't happen. Every time you hit Command C, everything starts over. It's like you didn't make that line. But in fact, you did make that line. So your brain knows what didn't work. So you can fix it. So to me, in order to learn how to draw, you can do both. But in fact, I will tell you, do both. Don't just stay traditional and don't just stay digital. The thing is, if you just stay digital, the moment you grab a pencil, you feel overwhelmed because every line you put down there is there. Okay, to quote another teacher here, every line's count, right? Every line count. So here, the thing is, digitally, if you go to any studio nowadays, they go to work digitally on Photoshop or Procreate or whatever app there. I'm not sponsored by any of those. So anything you want to do, just do it both. Go back and forth. right? Go to digital and get a sketchbook and have a sketchbook and draw on the sketchbook, so you understand what's the deal, right? You know how to get rid of Common C. There was a time when I was teaching kind of almost every day, and I was using a Cintiq, and then I pick up a pad with paper, and the moment I just didn't like one line, I went straight with my head to the keyboard. And you know what happened? Nothing, right? It didn't get rid of the line in my paper. But it happens to me. This hand went out like to hit Command C just to get rid of the line. So it's good for you not to have that habit of getting rid of every line you do, like 3 times every line. Just try to get your lines good. And it's like digital photography, right? What photographers used to complain about is like the monkey thing, right? You take a photo, look at it. Take a photo, look at it. Take a photo, look at it. That didn't exist before. You were trying to hit the best photo every time you hit the button, right? The shutter is out, boom, I got the photo. The best photo I can in that moment, setting everything up, because there were no Photoshop before. So they need to have inside their head, right? What is going to happen after I press the shutter? So when drawing is kind of the same. There's a little bit of nostalgic feeling about the traditionally work, right? I'm 45 years old now. So there was no Photoshop when I was young. When I was really young. When I was young, that's what Photoshop. But there was no Photoshop. So drawing on paper, it was one thing, and it was beautiful to see people drawing there, because it feels, again, like magic. You cannot get rid of lines. If you have a sketch, right, on paper, and you look at it, you will see every thought of that artist. Every thought, even the lines he or she erased, you will see a glimpse there of that there. So the question was digital or traditional? Both. Use both. Nowadays, with I would go traditional, because no AI can replace one traditional drawing of mine or anybody, right? If it's digital, we'll see. Probably in a couple of months, we won't know what is true and what it was AI created. So that's that. A little bit of AI talk.
Yeah, there's already some debates online that I saw, like people going to artists and accusing them of using AI even though they're not. Um,
Yeah, it's really
Especially
hard.
like those common styles that are now getting, copied a lot with AI.
Yeah, because
That,
if you think about it, if we want to talk about AI, that we can do that just a tiny bit. If you think about AI works the same because it's artificial intelligence. We are, as human, we have intelligence. It's not artificial. It's natural intelligence, and we need to kind of cultivate it in order to be able to use it. And it takes time, but we do exactly the same. We look at artist drawings, we do master studies. What are master studies? It's the same as the AI grabbing images from the web. The thing is, AI can do it faster, way faster. And the AI doesn't need to replicate. You just grab that and put it here. So in that area, it looks like a theft. But if you think about it, we do the same. We steal stuff from other people. But one thing they can't replace is an original. You cannot print an original. You can print a copy, but it's not an original. So AI won't be able to replace a human draftsman. That is why you need to understand what you're doing. Because kit bashing is awesome, it's faster, it's cool, solutions. Now kit bash is completely replaced by AI. You don't need to do that. That makes no sense, right? You can then fix a couple of things, but AI will do it like this. But an original, it can be done by AI. So that's what I think about it. It's debatable, of course. It's debatable. But that's the way I see it coming. It's a tool. It's a new tool, and studios are using it. So we cannot eliminate it. We need to find our strength. Try not to find weaknesses on your enemy. Find your strength and win because of that. Don't kill people. Just succeed yourself. That's a philosophical thing to say. But that's what I think.
Okay, thank you
I'm
for that
doing.
answer. Okay, we have a question from Jen. What were your memorable aha moments in art? I believe
Uh,
it's for art.
yeah, one of the thing I find like a memorable aha moment is when I figure out that perspective was something I need to understand, right? And the moment you just understand that, everything changes because you were trying to do something, but it didn't work. For some reason, it didn't work. I see many boxes, and you'll hate me for this, but drawing 1,000 boxes won't help you. You need to draw 3 or 10 or 1,000 if you want, but you need to understand why you're doing it. I feel like every time I give the students the question, this is a gift for me to you. The question why. If you ever find something that you don't understand, go and ask the teacher why. If there's no answer, that only means that there's no understanding of the concept. And it happens to me. Sometimes students ask me why, and I used to not have an answer. So then I need to find that answer because that means that I don't know something about drawing. So try to ask why every time you don't understand anything. And the thing is, with nobody around you, just ask yourself, why am I doing this? Or is just my hand moving? If it's just your hand moving, wait and think about it. Why am I doing this? So the moment I figured out that was a really aha moment because I then understood that what happens is when you get a couple of tools ready inside your head and you reread a book or you rewatch a video, it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes it's like not understanding a language. For example, I don't understand Japanese, right? I have many other languages, but just to name one. If I hear someone talking Japanese, I won't understand a thing, no matter how intelligent and how wise are those words. If I don't understand what the person is saying, it makes no sense to me. When teaching, it happens the same. If you don't have the fundamentals down there, you won't understand a thing that I'm saying. That is why I tend to start by the very, very beginning so everybody's on the same page. As I move on, I just focus on a specific person, right, individually, because not everybody is in the same level, right? Some people are already up here, but some people are down here. I don't want these people to get lost. I just want to bring it up. And these people help me to move this together, right? So to answer the question, the aha moment is understanding the simple concepts have a lot of weight. That's the key moment. It didn't happen too far away from now, right? Too long ago. That's the word. Right? It didn't happen too long ago. That's so you know that you don't need to have that at 12, right? You can have it at 45 if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, when it comes to it, it sticks for forever.
Yeah, once you understand, once you know how to ride a bike, you won't forget. Right? You won't forget. You just know it. right? You just need practice. Same thing happens with drawing. If you understand something and then you stop doing it for 2 months, it goes away. But then when you grab it, you have it again, you need practice and you get back fast. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Yeah. All right. Another question we have from Pedro. Hola, Diego. Do you believe in talent or with the right mindset, anyone can become a great?
Hola Pedro, Pepo. So Pepo, no? So Pepo. Uh, so and the question, what was the question? If anyone can get to be a great artist, right?
Yeah, do
Or
you believe in talent or with the right mindset, everybody can become a great artist?
I do believe in talent, but not in the way many people think about it, right? To me, talent is that you have the willpower to sit down and study. That's the talent. It's not about drawing. The talent is to have the willpower to sit down. It's 99% sweat, it's 1% intelligence, right? A super wise person, if he or she doesn't do work, it means nothing, right? So to me, the talent is about being able to fight for what you want, right? To sit down and spend time learning, practicing, figuring out stuff. Because sometimes we as teacher give you tools, but then you need to use it. If you don't use the tools, you won't be able to do anything. And no matter how talented you are, or your parents tell you are, right? Because oh, you don't have no idea how good my sons draw, and yeah, I know, like everybody else. The thing is, the moment you put that child against a teacher, is not against, it's with the teacher. So if the person that is a study feels like the teacher is against them, that's a problem. I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you. That's all I do. If I ask you to do 300 heads, it's not that I'm a bad person and I don't want you to learn. It's actually what you need to do, but consciously and having fun in order to understand how to draw a head. It's just that. It's not me fighting against you. It's me with you. It's like a co-op game, right? We are not rivals. We are on the same team. And that's really important. So, Pepo, this is super clear. And if you're talented, and I know you are because you do a lot of work, that means you are a great artist already. You know, artists or artists since they are born. You don't need to hit anything to be a great artist. You are a great artist. Everybody is a great artist. Everybody here is a great artist. They just need to develop the shine in the stars and everything else. But you have it in you. You just need to keep working because never will get to the end line. Right? There's no finish line. There's no finish line. Ask anybody. If someone tells you, yes, you will get here and you'll be the best, like I am, that's funny, right? No one is perfect and no one ever will be. So just keep doing, keep working, and you'll get your best. This is a race against you, not against other ones, right? Don't compare yourself to other ones. That's the worst thing you can do. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Okay. Question from Sia. How to apply the static anatomy that you learned from the anatomy book to your drawing from imagination when your pose changes? Basically, how to learn the changes of muscle in the pose.
Okay, so going back to the gesture answer, muscles, and I know that this is going to sound, just bear with me. Muscles are volumes placed in a certain position, right? And they have a function. So, do you need to be a doctor? No, you don't. You just need to understand simple things. I think the most simple anatomy you can learn is that we were going to talk a little bit about in a moment. But the most simple anatomy you can learn is that you have elbows, right? You have wrist, you have fingers, you have a neck, right? You have a torso, a hip, and that's the anatomy you want to learn at the beginning. Once you get that and you can place that in space, right? They're going to start looking like this. These are going to be your poses. So where everything's going to be stiff and static. And the reason is that you're just drawing volumes. You're not designing. So the moment you start designing, you start creating the fluidity. And this arm would no longer be like this. I draw an arm with a hand with the fingers. Everything is really anatomy-wise perfect. But they are not flowing. You're not feeling this movement of something going up, down, up, down. Look at here, all these bumps we have, right? If I turn my hand like this and I start moving it, right? Start moving in a certain way. It doesn't move like this. This is a robot, right? And at the beginning, your drawings will start looking like this because you know that there's an arm and there's an elbow, but you're not thinking about the flow and the lines that connects one thing to the other. So anatomy is good. And once you get it to this position, right, like your drawings feels like they're moving, then you can start being specific. What is that? Can you see something here? There's something there. What is this? What is this bump here? Right? Then you start figuring out those things. And then you go to anatomy book or anatomy app and you look for it. What is that? And then you figure it out. And then you learn. And then you apply it in your drawing. And like that, you go all over the body. And the deeper you can go, you can become Ray Bustos. Or you can keep drawing and know the amount of anatomy. It helps you. Okay? So you don't have to be a doctor. Knowledge is helpful. But at the beginning, you want to go step by step. First, be able to draw the volumes in the right place at the right position. Then be able to connect one volume with the next. Then give it flow and design. And then if you want, you can add all the details you want about anatomy. And that's going to make your drawing more specifically correct. But if we look at Bugs Bunny, that is not good. It's not a good drawing. Yes, it is. What about anatomy? There's no anatomy there. No, not really. Actually, it's totally wrong. That's not a rabbit. Rabbits don't look like that. But it flows and it moves, right? So it's not about anatomy. Anatomy is knowledge. But the most important thing is drawing and design. For the industry, right? For the industry. I'm always talking about the industry. Okay? That answer your question?
I believe it does.
Okay.
But let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, Al from Discord is asking, how does Diego deal with burnout?
What is that? What
Being
is
burned
burnout?
out?
Yeah, I'm just
Just
kidding.
being.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
you get burnout, right? We are humans, right? You get stressed, you get tired. I'm gonna give you three things for you to think about. It has nothing to do with drawing. Absolutely nothing. If you can do these three things or kind of fix those three things in your life, everything's gonna be better. Okay, this is for everybody. And I'm just not preaching anything. I'm just giving you three things. Your relationships, okay? If you get together with people that likes to draw, that is why NMA Discord is a good place to be. I'm not being you know what I mean, right? You get surround yourself with people that are interested in what you like to do, right? Don't go with people that say, "Oh, you won't do it. You do." No, just join with people that are cool, that helps you, that pushes you to get better, that's the way to go. So that's one. Second, treat your body as if it's your body, right? Take care of it. Exercise. Eat well. Drink water, right? Drink water. And then mental health, right? That's what burnout is. How do you get yourself with mental health? Treat well your body and surround with good people. If you can have all those three ready, your burnout are going to be much less, and you'll be able to control it, right? So that's a life advice. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. Eventually, your brain will click and you'll say, oh, Diego was right. And it is not me, that is not my thinking, but I'm applying it and it works, right? Meditation, eat well, eat healthy, right? Do exercises, sleep well, right? It's one thing you take from this Q&A, sleep well. No sleeping means no battery charging. Any cell phone, if you don't charge it, what happened? It dies. Well, same thing kind of happened with the human. It takes a little longer than just a day, but you'll get less energy. So every time you want to sit down, draw, you're kind of sleeping, and then you kind of concentrate. So those things are things that are important to avoid burnout, because the burnout is not about drawing. The burnout is about the rest of your life, right? That it kind of ends there because it's part of your life, but it's not about drawing. You don't get burned out about drawing. You get burned out of your life. So you need to sort those things out. A weird answer to a very good question. I hope this gave you a good idea on how to fix the burnout stuff and how do I deal with it.
Okay, I hope that helped. Al, if you have any other questions on that,
Yeah, if you want to
please
keep going
ask.
with the question, just go ahead. But I want to say that.
Okay, we're gonna take one more question for now, and then we'll do a small 5-minute break before we go into the demo. We'll be still continuing with the questions during the demo, just letting you guys know. Okay, the question from Jen: do you have any tips on drawing on location, like in a museum?
Uh, yes. Well, drawing on location is one of the things that I really like to do, and I really want to take students to draw at a museum, because at a museum or at any place, you don't need to go to a museum. You can go any place to draw. You get there in front of many things. One of the things is that you have people around you. Everything you learn, it seems like it went away the second someone stands behind you and start looking at what you're doing. It's like you forget everything. I don't know how to draw now. I feel so scared, and everybody's looking at me. And you know what? That person first doesn't know you, right? She or he will forget about you in the moment he sees a dinosaur, right? Look, it went away. There was a guy drawing there, and he forgot. So that's a great training for caricaturists. When you sit down drawing caricatures and you have a crowd behind you telling you what to do, oh, make the ear bigger, make the nose bigger, blah, blah, blah. Oh, doesn't look like him, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. You need to learn how to shut up everybody there inside your brain, because you can say, hey, stop talking, right? You cannot say that. So you need to start focusing on what you're doing. And that's a great way to understand that everything that is on the paper comes out of here. So if your brain is in any place, then whatever you're doing here, it makes no sense. So what do I like about drawing on location? First, that is beautiful. It's a great way to think and to realize where is your head at. Right? Where is your head at? Where is my head at? Am I thinking of the person I have behind, or am I thinking describing volumes? And that's another thing. The same thing about on location drawing is like drawing figures in a live drawing session. You're seeing 3D objects, and you have to translate those 3D objects into a two-dimensional surface and make them look 3D. So basically, what you're practicing there is drawing in its purest form because you're seeing 3D, your brain translate, and then you put it on the paper and make it look 3D. And then if you can design at the same time, that's magic, right? You have a dinosaur in your paper described by yourself and applying your style, basically your design decisions, live. That's the ultimate, to me, the ultimate thing about drawing. Sitting down someplace, look at something, and just try to describe it. Is that? It's just that. That is why it's so important to go out and draw things that are 3D, that are not chew up like photos. Photos are good, of course, photos are good. But from time to time, get a sketchbook, go somewhere and draw anything. A tree, a little plant, a piece of architecture, persons just drinking coffee at a coffee shop or a mall or whatever you want to go, right? The subway. Just draw things that are 3D and translate them to 2D. Landscape, whatever. But just use the translation skill, develop your translation skill. That's what on location drawing means.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Diego. We're gonna be taking the 5 minute break now, so you can stretch your legs, grab a cup of coffee, and we'll meet up back in 5 minutes. Before we leave, I would like to also say that for a limited time now, and first time ever, we are offering the complete art school experience. So click on the link, check what it entails. There's like a lot of stuff from group coaching to the whole library to live classes. Yeah, so check it out, guys. It's a great deal. But yeah,
Okay,
with that,
one
um,
second, Alex, one second. Just one thing. If you want to come to the demo, which is in 5 minutes, grab yourself a paper and a pencil if you want to
okay,
join with me. Okay? So just that. See you in 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for being
okay, you
here.
heard Diego, guys. Grab paper, grab pencil, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we are back. Diego, are you already with us? If not, then
Yes, of
just wait.
course. I was
Oh,
sitting
okay.
here. Oh, okay. Now
You fooled us all.
I'm here, and I have a pencil, a traditional pencil. Uh, okay. So, do you guys happen to have a pencil and a paper ready?
I'm ready.
Because I want to talk about a little bit about a demo, right? What is a demo and what it means, and what are we going to do? So, think about watching a kung fu movie, right? Maybe Bruce Lee fighting somebody. What do you learn about it? You see what I'm getting at? So you will learn a thing unless you're super expert on the subject and you can pick up what Bruce Lee is doing. If not, then you just see a movie. It's entertainment. And I like to be entertained, but I also like to learn. So what I think about doing is doing a demo of a class. So we're going to be drawing a figure all together, but I'll be talking about what I'm thinking. And I want to give you some starting tips so you can follow me here and see why I think the way I think and how you can get better using what I think it works. That there was a comma there. Using what I think it works. Okay? So let me change and I'll be here. Yes, I'm here. This is what we're going to be using. Look, this is so good. This. Okay, so we're going to be using this reference. This is from New Masters Academy. Guess why? So there are really, really good references, images there. I was always a fan of this and the video, the live drawing sessions that they're photos that they move and a lot of that. I was really fun. I used to practice a lot with this thing. So why did I pick this reference? It's not random, right? I want to give you something that is kind of hard, but it's also useful, right? It has some good stuff, some challenging stuff. We have things that are blocking our view of what's happening behind. We have foreshortening things. We have different sizes of things, right? We have many, many things to work with. Of course, we just have 1 hour, so we will do whatever we can in that time. But before we go any further, we're more than 30 people here. So I want for yourself this. You can cheat if you want. Try not to, but you can cheat. So pick a number between 1 and 3. It doesn't matter what it is. Just think it to yourself. I'll choose 1. I'll choose 2, and I'll choose 3. And I'm gonna give you homework just for those numbers. I'm gonna give you a homework for number 1. I'm gonna give you a homework for number 2, and I'm gonna give you a homework for number 3. You can just pick 1, or you can pick 2, or you can pick all the 3. But if you're starting and you don't want to get burned out, just pick 1. I'm going to tell you when we get to the moment what it means to be a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3. Okay, so everybody understood what I just said? It's clear, right?
Yeah,
Just think,
Diego.
yes?
Yeah, just letting you know that we have an additional 30 people in Discord, so we have like around 64 people in total.
Okay, okay, but it doesn't
Just in
matter. Better.
case the okay, so one to
It
three is still
doesn't
fine.
matter.
Okay.
I want everybody to think about just 1, 2, or 3. And just keep that number inside your brain. And you imagine you have a shirt that says 1, 2, or 3. You're on one of those teams. Uh, okay, so we're going to be using this reference. And let me change now to this view here so you can see paper. That's paper.
Yes.
Everybody can see. Do you want me to hold on a second? Let's do this. So you can have a screen grab of this and you can move it anywhere so you have it, because the other one, I feel it's kind of small. But if I make it bigger, you won't be able to see what I'm drawing. So just take a screenshot there, and everybody's ready. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, here we are. So I like to start always with showing you what we're going to use. Okay, so first thing, we're going to use lines, and we're going to make shapes with those lines. By the way, if you want to ask me something while I'm doing this, be my guest. Okay. All right. So we're going to be using that lines to make shapes. Here's the thing. We also will be using volumes. The idea of using volumes is to start giving the illusion of 3D. We know that there are more shapes than just this. Okay, we have triangles, circles. We can just modify this in any way, just stretch them, squash them, right? Make it bigger, smaller. Same thing's going to happen here. So, oh, that's amazing. In the handout, you can download the reference. That's cool. That's technology, yeah, always amazing. Okay, so as we are going to draw the figure, I want you to have something to grab onto. So you can have a little thing that helps you when you draw any figure. So this is what I do. I like to do this, and that's going to be your figure. Okay, this is an 8-head figure. You know, with proportions, that they are not true, right? We are not the same. So we cannot think about a perfect proportion. We can have general proportions, and the eight head figure allows us to divide this in two. So if from here to here we have 8 heads, if I divide this in the middle, what we're going to have here is exactly the pubic bone. Not exactly the pubic bone. Right? So there you have a simple proportion to use. So below the pubic bone is half of the figure, and above the pubic bone is half of the figure. It's up to you when you see somebody to see if maybe proportions are different, maybe it's a little shorter, maybe it's a little taller, but that's something you can have to work with. One more thing before I forget, because I think this is a key. I always do this, so if you see it before, just bear with me because I need to do it. Okay, so we have this, and we're gonna have this, which is our slider, our perfecto meter. And here you can't draw anything. I guess no one in this room is here. Okay? We're going to start raising this up to here. This is going to be the sweet spot. Here you become a printer. Let me give you a little explanation of what I mean with a printer. Imagine you have a reference and you copy the reference perfect, 100%. If anyone can tell me how do I know that it was you, it would be great. But nobody will know that it was you because it's perfect. Imperfections will make you stand out and will give you a specific voice of what you're doing. So if you're aiming for perfection, you're aiming for AI, right? And that's what we were talking before. AI is using the same methods as we are using, but faster. The thing is that you cannot create an imperfect artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is going to aim for perfection. So if you want a hand, it will appear a hand, a perfect hand. But the style is going to be based on other artists. So I want you to get up to here because here is good enough. Everybody will understand that's a hand, but it will have your imprint. It will have your way, your signature on how you show a hand, body, whatever is your drawing. So be aware of that. Avoid going for perfection. This only will remove your humanity. Okay? So don't worry about being perfect. Just enjoy the process. Okay. If that makes any sense, let's keep going. So now, one thing I want you to do, let me go to the chat so I know if someone is asking something. Anyway, we have here Alex that is really, really, really good doing that. Okay, so what else we need? How do we start with a drawing of a figure? What is the way to start? And this is just the way. It's not the way. It's a way. So we're going to have here the shoulder angle, right? If we can look at the shoulder angle, everybody can see if something is level or if it's higher or lower in any place, right? Shoulder is higher than the other one is lower. So if you can see that, you're in a good place. What else? The hips. Same thing. Is one side of the hip higher or lower? Then we have that thing too. And that will be our body. Not very much design, not too much anatomy. Actually, almost none. That's a rectangle. But it's good enough for the moment. So we have this as our body. If you're a little more advanced, you can start thinking about this. And we can have an upper section. Okay, that's going to be your upper section. If we have an upper section, we're going to have a lower section. Something like this. Okay, let me add a little bit of drop shadow in here. So we're going to have that. Show me this. So we have the lower section. And now, you see this is flat. But now this has volume. Okay. Now, something important. If you are a little more advanced, we can think about this. So now we have 1, 2, and 3 sections. This section is hard. This other section is hard. What that means? It means that it won't bend. It won't twist. It won't do anything. It will move as a volume. But this section is soft. All of this thing here is soft. What's good with that? That will allow us to create a twist, the squash, the stretch, and everything in between. So we need to be aware that this is our upper part, this is our lower part, and this is our middle section, which will allow us to move the body. Right? Everything is happening there. That is why when you train your body, your real body, not your drawing, you need to work on your core, because your core is what keeps you standing straight up, right? And then you don't go like this because you don't have enough strength. Because this is basically soft. It's only connected by the spine that is behind. So what happens, and now here I want to clarify one thing, is you see in many books, right, and many teachers tell you to draw with boxes, right? Draw the figure using boxes. And the thing is, that's great. Nobody wants to do it because it feels like I'm drawing a figure. I want to draw anatomy. Well, wait. If you cannot draw this, we can do this. And we can have, let's do it shorter because I want to do this. So this will be one. We leave a space, right? Because that's soft. And we get the other one down here. And that will be your second. Now, here's a question for everybody. All right, let's put this drop shadow here. Here's a question for everybody. Are you able to draw this and move it around? Is that something that you can do? If that is something that you can do, then jump into this. If not, stay here until you can move that simple object in space. Because if you can't move an object that has clear corners, right? Corners gives us the change in a plane. This is one plane, and this is another. See what I'm talking about here? This and this is changing direction. Okay? This is a turning edge. If something goes up and then it goes in another direction. So you can see these corners. Here, you cannot see those corners. That is what's happened when you get sphere, right? That's basically an ellipse. It's not a sphere. I need to show you something that shows direction, orientation, and tilt. And cylinders have one section that shows me this turning edge, but around here, I see nothing. Well, boxes, on the other hand, allows us to see every single plane and pretty well described by corners. So if you cannot draw this, this is going to be harder. And if you think about anatomy, it's going to be even harder. So let's go and start trying to draw this figure. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is whatever I said here is let's look for the shoulders and the hips angle. As simple as that. So I'm going to draw like if I don't know how to draw. This is the first time I'm drawing. I'm thinking about what I just said here. So I want you to do the same. Or no, whatever you want to do. It's your life. So here we have one shoulder higher than the other. And then hips on the floor. I'm going to have like this. One more thing I can tell you here is if you divide this in half, and you divide this in half again, you have here the three sections. Here's one, here's two, and here's three. Okay, so now we're gonna come here, and you see there's a slightly arc going from her right shoulder to her right hip. Okay, so we're gonna do this because we can do this connection like this, straight, but it will make something stiff. So I want to turn it a little bit. All right, same thing I'm gonna do here. When you're drawing, I'm drawing kind of hard now, like dark, because I want you to see, but I want you to draw this like this. Pretty soft. This is just when we are planning. We are going to plan our drawing. And you'll see in a moment how important it is to plan your drawing. It's not the same to draw on a white canvas than on something that is prepared for you to draw. So we are going to prepare our canvas to allow us to add more stuff. But we need to have a reference there. And we're using this as a simple reference. You will get rid of this with time. When you get used to drawing, right, you will get rid of this. But if you're struggling about drawing poses or figures or whatever, just stay with me. So now we have that. Now we need to think. Is the torso aiming forward or is aiming back? Right? It's just like this or it's just like this. She's going forward, right? So we can divide this in half, as we said before, and we can divide this in half. But now this, I can do this, right? So I'm turning this into a different direction, right? This line is giving us the idea that she is coming towards us. Of course, if you're drawing with this type of things, you need to place this kind of like this, right? You'll see this, right? And you can kind of bend it, but don't bend it too much because it's not bending. The only thing is this is kind of tilted, okay? It's kind of tilted because it's higher on the back than in the front. But just that don't worry too much about it, right? Just keep doing that. Now, here, we're going to have this here. This is coming down, this is coming down, and this is going here. Okay, that's a simple way to start with your pose. So you get the body, the torso, the hip, and the middle section. You can see in the reference, kind of, oh, I cannot do it. But okay, you can see here that there's are some folds. That is because we're in presence of a squash and stretch moment there. So that's the thing you can look for. Okay, so you know the position of the angle of the shoulder, the angle of the hips, and then you have this idea of a squash and stretch. Now, what else? We need to think about things overlapping. Because if we look that pose from the side, and I'm talking a lot here because I want you to think that everything that I'm saying is happening on my brain when I'm drawing. Everything I'm saying is happening on my brain when I'm drawing. So if you look this from the side, you'll see that her body is kind of like this. Then this leg is going up in front, and this other leg is going further away, right? Here's the head. There's one arm, right? This one arm that's coming here and going in that direction, so you won't be able to see it here. And there's the other arm that comes up to the head, right? We just did a little sketch here of the pose from the side. Can you see that inside your head? If you can see that, then you'll know that this leg is in front. So we won't be able to see anything here. this will go up here, and I'm going to do this with a shape, just with a shape, just to show you that this is in front of everything. Now, there's another part of the leg, and now you need to understand perspective, because here we'll be having a cylinder, and I'm just going to draw a cylinder. Then we're going to go into details later. A cylinder that is coming forward. So you need to understand how to draw a cylinder that's coming forward. Okay? On the other part, we have this here, goes a little up here, and think about that. Okay? I can shift it a little bit like this, because I can see here that I can see the bottom. I can see the bottom here of that leg. Okay? Then this is going to go this way. And let's talk a little bit about design. See this? See that? That is an S-curve. If you can start thinking about this, you will start designing your shapes and your volumes. This starts making more sense if you're a little more advanced. You want to get into here, because this is kind of rudimentary, right? And you're more advanced than this. But if you're starting, a good way to see something and that something, another thing, it's in front, is just putting one thing on top of the other and start creating. Let me use the eraser for a moment, right here, and start creating overlapping moments. These are overlapping moments. That means that this is in front of that. Okay? Now, with design, we can start thinking about how thick is her body, right? So we'll start having a little more like that, right? It's not going to go that way outside. Maybe here is going to be the arm. Again, the arm is a cylinder. That arm is a cylinder that is coming towards us. And here we have the forearm coming down. Here's going to be the hand. So I know that from here, this arm is going to come down, and it's blocked by the forearm that goes up here and opens here to the hand. Okay? We're going to put the head so we have a reference there. Now here you're going to place the foot. Think about the foot. I'm going to give you just a trick for the foot. So this is the most basic thing you can do with a foot, but that's flat, right? So if you want to turn it over, you just want to think about this. I read on a book, this is one method to do it. You put a cube here, and that cube will connect here. So now it's a little more useful to place a foot on the floor, right? So that's an idea. With time, you're gonna learn a little more tweaks there, but you can use this, okay? Because it will allow you to put the foot in any position, right? Well, I use the other one here, but you see, you can put the foot looking from the back. You can also use a triangle here, right? Something like this. So you can use a triangle, and you start seeing here. The thing is, if you make this longer, it will help you to connect here with the upper part of the lower part of the leg. Okay, but simply you just want to be aware that everything is a volume. Everything is a volume. Okay, so now we are here. Let's put just this here, just to have an idea. Let's here to have an idea. And now, again, this is going to be our forearm. I'm just kind of designing a little bit the shape, because I can do this. And that's fine. It's all depending in what stage you are. I prefer you go like this and put everything in place. And then it's easy, right? Just to go from this, right? That's flat. That's what we're doing there, to here, right? That's a volume. We now have the direction of this thing because we place it like this. But if we do this, we have a volume. And if we design that line, right, so we make it taller, lower, right, we are redesigning that volume again. Then we can start adding a little bit of shading to it. And we can start painting and all that stuff, whatever you want to do. But see, first was this simple flat shape on the bottom. So now we have something. Imagine I was drawing hard, as I said before, and I was also just shading a couple of parts so you can see. But if I was drawing all this like this, it would be so easy for me to go inside this and start like designing whatever I want to do. Okay, so what I want you to do is, depending on your current skill level, those of you who choose 1, I want you to render or go as far as you can, head, face, and hair. All right, I want you to place all the figure like this, or however you want to do it. Because one more thing, now that we studied this and we understand this, what we can do is just go like this. And place it there. And have that in just 6 seconds. Right? You don't need to go further than that, because then you will start designing, right? You have this, go here. Remember, start drawing by the things that are in front. Okay, here, it's coming this way, it's coming here. Now this, you're gonna wrap it because it's round and it's going up here, and you go out there, here. This is the arm. It's coming this way. You can start designing that arm. You can move this and move it that way. Here is the other arm. Quickly here. Put the head. Here's, let's make large. This is Marge Simpson. Okay, so we have that. Okay, put the foot, the other foot, right? And we can finish it. But this is quick because we understand what's going on here. Now, what else we can do? We can now start to design and push shapes. So instead of doing this, we can start pushing that even more. So we can go something like this. That's the center line. Here's the belly button. This is going this way. Here we have one leg, and here we're going to have the other one. Now here's the head. See how I push this in this direction? See how it's more this than it was before? See how starting to create a gesture, a following path of movement in this pose. See how here it looks a little stiff, right? It's because nothing is flowing. See this arm is coming this way, and then it's going here. But what I'm doing is this and this, just that. What if we think about this motion? We can start creating shapes around this to give the illusion that that is more here. Here's a problem that I just saw. I make this the same length as this, the same length as that. So I'm repeating the size. This is a little more advanced. This is designing. So I probably want to go this shorter. I want to make the tricep a little shorter and make this longer. So here I can put the elbow, and this will be coming here. And this, right, see here, that's an overlapping moment. And there, I have this in front, and now I send this to the back. I also can start adding volume in here. Right? If I start adding this, I just have that. Now at the end, I can find the wrist and put the hand in any direction. Okay? Makes sense? Any questions so far? Are you still there, people?
I believe everyone's processing all the information. But
Okay. All right.
anyone struggling, having questions, let us know.
Another thing, let me change the paper here. So we talk about this simple idea of getting, hold on a second, just this simple idea about getting this initial step of the pose, right? Finding this, right? Finding this coming here, this going this way, right? Or a little lower. You can do this, right? You can do this. You can be as sketchy as you want, because this is a sketch. This is the base, right? Another totally different thing is if you want to go into a gesture drawing that you want to keep it forever, and those lines are key. So then, for example, if I start with the shoulder, right? You go with the shoulder like this and come here, and you're gonna go this way, right? You're just using your lines in a way that they will remain as you're putting them down. Okay, but this is not what we are doing. We are drawing because we are going to make a comic book. We're going to make an animation about it, right? And then we need the cleanup. So here we are planning our drawing. So we can fix it, right? You saw that I did this and I did that, and now I'm realizing that this is coming more like this and this is going lower. So then I can put this. If you're new, right, you just do this and get a cylinder. Same thing you're gonna do here. You're gonna get this cylinder. About the body, right? The body could be something like this. Right? You're gonna have the legs in here. Or if you're a man, or generally speaking, here, right? You're gonna get the same thing, but more squarish, right? Your arms gonna fall like this, arms gonna fall like this, hand in hand, right? So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna find this, you're gonna get your body there, you're gonna divide this, you're gonna divide this, you're gonna find your center line, right? You're gonna go here. This is where the legs are going to start from. It's going up. This is coming towards us. This is going less like this, more out. Right here's the head. Now here's the shoulder. It's coming to the arm. It's coming down here. This up, out the hand. Right. So when you're placing, this is the most important part in your drawing. When you sketch, then you clean up, then you do whatever you want to do. Okay, face. You can have this. Look at the shape. Look at the shape. It's not the same for me to do that than to do this. Right? This is generic. This is more close to what we're seeing. She also has a hair. The shape of the hair is also important. It's not any shape. It's not any hair. People tend to draw hair as a generic thing, and hair is important. Hair gives personality. She decided to go like that. Look at the eyebrows. Look at the mouth, right? You will put this in a position, right, where you want it to be. You can have this here. There's the eyes. There's the mouth. There's the nose, right? And there's the mouth. And you can go as deep as you want with this, right? I don't care. It's up to you. Then it's just about rendering. Then it's just about finding the right ribbons in here for the head. It's happening. The right outside silhouette for the head, because we want it to be recognizable, right? The outside shape is important. Here, in manga and anime, when you get your chin to a point, it means good looking. It looks more cute. All right. So if we get a circle like this, and we go in here, and down, if you connect this to this, it feels more beautiful, right? Than if you do this and do that instead. Okay, this has nothing to do with what we're doing, but just for the sake of explaining, I give it to you. Okay, so with this, if it's if you're number one, you will complete head, hair, and face. All right, look at her eyebrows. If you're number two, you're gonna work with hips, legs, and feet. And if you're number three, you're gonna go with torso, arms, and legs, arms and hands. All right. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna plant your drawing like this, and then I want you to go over and start rendering or just finishing. All right, whatever you want to do with this. I want you to render or finish. I want you to render or finish. Whatever it is you're drawing, you can do that. You can do this, and you can play. You wanna go into character design. So instead of drawing what you see there, we will never do, because we talk about being a printer. What you're gonna do, you're gonna start changing proportions, right? So you can start going like this, here, yes. You can make a smaller head, right? You can make a big arm coming up here, like this. All right, you can make this arm go away, like this, here, right? And you can start playing with those things. But if you want first, remember, always, if something gets difficult, you go back to that. If something gets complex, you go back to this, and you go back to this, where you can simply move these objects around. Then it's just a matter of adding things on top. We have this. We want to add the shoulder on top. We just add another piece of volume, just right there on top of this one. If you want to add a muscle here, you add a muscle here on top. So you'll get this and this. See what I'm talking about? Makes sense? Here is a hinge joint. So you'll get something like this. Imagine that you have another cylinder here, and there's something coming out. So here you have another cylinder coming out, and the forearm starts round, and it ends kind of a squarish here. All right. So if you put all this thing together, you'll get an arm. But there's no way you can apply anatomy if you cannot draw these things, because you cannot put one object. I imagine this, that we just talked before, right? That on top of that one. And basically, I just break a cylinder in two. We can add here some drop shadow to make it more interesting to look at and divide it into things together, right? And see how now this is calling your attention because it has graphic power here. It has a lot more contrast than anything else. Same thing is going to happen if I start rendering. So be aware of that. The moment you start drawing the figure, you get to the plan, you start adding details, and then you finish it. When you finish it, you start with another drawing, but finish it, end it. There's a moment in time when you say, this is the moment when I finished. It's over. I don't want to do it anymore. It finished. Right? The moment when you start drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and you don't know what to do is the moment you ruin your drawing. And that's happened to everybody. So find a balance between your planning stage and to finish it, and you'll get better. Because I want you to go over all the process, not just staying here. Because if you just stay here, you will never get to here. And if you stay here, you will never get to here. Right? And if you stay here, you will never get to the render. So go over the whole process. That is why I divided in three, so you'd have to draw a full figure rendered. But just get those points out and see what happened. If you feel like you can keep going, just keep going and finish all the pose, right? Okay, any questions? Let me go
We have
back to
no
my
question.
no question. Let me see, because
We have
that's
one. We just we just got one question from Mati.
okay.
So if so if one doesn't have the basic shapes in perspective, then go back to the fundamentals before continuing.
What is the question? Can you read it again? Because I don't see it
Okay.
here.
Yeah, no, it's not there. Wait, I'll copy it. Just give me 1 second. There you
It's fine.
go.
It's fine.
Okay. So if one doesn't have the basic shapes in perspective, then you should go
Mm-hmm.
back to fundamentals before continuing. That's the question.
If so, and doesn't have the basic shapes in perspective. Yeah, probably, because then you if you don't have your fundamentals, you will start fighting against things that you don't know how to beat, right? So let me give you a quick example of that. If I ask you to just, this is super simple, right? And this is flat without any depth. Okay. The moment I do this is still flat, but now it has depth, but it's still flat. The moment I do this is no longer flat. It has volume. So if you don't know how to manage this or how to look at this, maybe from the bottom, right? Maybe it's going up like this, right? If you don't know how to do this, how to move this around, then it makes no sense that you're fighting against anatomy in the body. You need to get this, right? If you don't know how to draw a cylinder, right, going in one direction or in another direction, right, or how to turn a cylinder, right? A cylinder starts by this. Then, if you just move it, it starts squashing a little bit, this, and goes back, and this here. You keep going. Let's do one more, so it wouldn't take like all day doing this, right? Like that. And if we do one more, you end up here. So here is flat. Here we have volume and depth. Here we have volume and depth. And here we go again flat. So you need to know how to place those objects for the people to understand, the audience to see and clearly read if that's a flat object or it's a dimensional object. And you can then use that for composition because objects with dimension comes forward while objects flat goes back. If I do this here and I do this here, see how this comes forward, right? So if I have to put this next to this one, I will sort it like this. I will put in front the one with dimension, and here's the flat. So when you draw the figure, you need to be aware. We can put this arm flat because we can send this one a little to the front and make it dimensional, and even add the hand just to make it a little more dimensional. You know what I'm talking about? Makes sense? That is why you need the fundamentals, because you're working with volumes, with volumes that doesn't exist, right? They're not real. They're just illusions. They're just merely illusions that we create. This is a square and this is a cube. It's not a cube. It's not a square, right? If I do this, I get even more side and I get even more dimension, right? This is one side, this is two sides, these are three sides. Okay,
Yeah, that makes
Alex,
sense.
what do you want to say?
Diego, yeah, we are at time actually, so we'll have to stop here for the demo.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
I would love to keep you forever, but
unfortunately,
time's time. Okay.
unfortunately, I could listen to this forever. God knows I need more
Uh,
fundamental trading. But yeah,
okay, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. First, I want to say that, and thank you for you for having me. It's amazing to be here.
yeah, thank you so much for answering all our questions and for this beautiful demo. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Before we go, I'll ask you guys if you haven't yet, check out the feedback form that we have. We already talked about it before. I'm not gonna long talk about it, but it will get you into a raffle if you fill it out for a individual group coaching session, or you can get a group coaching session. And if you get the group coaching session, you can see more of Diego and you learn more from him every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, group coaching
So yeah,
session. Great, because we can see your work, and I can work over your work, and I can give you things about it that what I see that you can get better. Okay.
yes. And with that, I'll say thank you again, Diego. I'll see you guys in the events section because today is Wednesday and Wednesday is a drawing from life event. Probably Huawei already started, so everybody welcome there and we'll see you there. Thank you again for your time and see you around.
Thank you, everybody. See you. Have fun.